Good morning, dear students. In the previous lecture, we discussed about biogeochemical cycles, and I explained in detail about carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, water cycle, as well as phosphorus cycle. Today, I have come up with a new topic, that is ecological pyramids. Under this topic, we'll discuss about general definition of ecological pyramids, types of ecological pyramids with some examples. We'll discuss about three types of ecological pyramids, which are pyramid of numbers, pyramid of biomass, and pyramid of energy. So let us start our today's topic. Ecological pyramids can be defined as graphical representation of structure and function of any ecosystem. If you recall the previous lectures in which we had discussed about the structure and function of any ecosystem, I had explained that structure means the composition of any ecosystem. The information related to the biotic and abiotic components of an ecosystem. That is known as structural study of an ecosystem. And function means the flow of energy in any ecosystem. So whenever anyone wants to carry out the structural and functional study of an ecosystem, what all is done in such studies, we'll see. Suppose I want to conduct a structural study of a forest ecosystem, then I'll go to that field or that forest and try to identify all those living organisms who are participating in different food chains in that ecosystem. I will count the population of each and every organism, make a data out of it, and I will also try to collect data related to the available dry biomass of all the living organisms at each trophic level in any food chain. So whenever such data is collected, it has to be represented in some usable form so that the readers could understand about structural and functional aspect of such ecosystems in an easier way. So let us take an example of a food chain and try to understand that how the structural study of any ecosystem is carried out. This is a food chain from a forest ecosystem which starts with green plants on which grasshoppers are feeding, and grasshoppers are eaten by frogs, frogs are eaten by snakes, and snakes are eaten by hawk. Suppose when I was carrying out the study of structure of the ecosystem in which this food chain is operating, I found this data, or I collected this data during my study. That was the total population of plants were 2000. Say for example, grasshoppers were 1000 in number, frogs were 500 in number, the snake population was 250, and hawk population was 125. Now this data has to be represented in some usable form. So the common ways of representing such data are, we can represent these data with the help of the bar graphs, in which individual organisms population can be represented through this graph or through these bar lines. Another way could be with the help of line graphs also, we can represent such data. But Charles Elton, an ecologist, British ecologist, he gave a special type of graphs to represent the data related to structure and function of an ecosystem, and he called those graphs as ecological pyramid graphs. The ecological pyramid graphs represent all the data that is collected during the study of structure and function of any ecosystem. The study is collected at food chain level. For example, in the previous food chain, we collected the data of population of green plants, grasshoppers, frogs, snakes, and hawks participating in a food chain. So if we want to make an ecological pyramid graph out of it, how it will be made, we'll see now. First of all, we'll have to set a scale. For example, I have set a scale that if I draw 1 centimeter line in these graphs, that will represent the population of 100 numbers. So 1 centimeter means 100 numbers population. Suppose I want to represent the population of green plants in this food chain. The population is 2000. So for representing this population, I will have to draw a line of 20 centimeter length, because my scale says that 1 centimeter is equal to 100 numbers. So for representing 2000 numbers, I will draw a line of 20 centimeter length. For grasshoppers, it should be 10 centimeter. For frogs, it should be 5 centimeters, 2.5 centimeter for snakes. And for representing the population of hawk, the bar length should be 1.25 centimeter. If I join the edges of these bar diagrams, then it will make a structure of a pyramid. That's why Charles Elton named these graphs as ecological pyramid graphs. These graphs are used for representing such data which are collected from the ecosystem during their study related to structure and function. So these ecological pyramid graphs can be made to represent the data related to the population of living organisms in different food chains. It can also be used for showing the total biomass that is available at each trophic level of the food chains, as well as we can also represent the energy, available energy at each trophic level in any food chain with the help of these ecological pyramid graphs. Now we'll discuss about the shapes of ecological pyramid graphs. Generally, two types of ecological pyramid graph shapes are seen. The first is upright shape ecological pyramid graph. In such graphs, the apex of the graphs will be narrower while the base will be broader. The base will contain information related to the food chain at producer level. It could be data related to the population of producers. It could be data related to the total biomass of the producers or energy available at the producer level. So always the data related to the producers will be represented at the base, and at the apex the data related to the top consumer level will be reflected. So whenever the data related at producer level is maximum, so we'll have the longest bar line for the producers at the base, and at consumer level the figure or the data related to population, biomass or energy, if it is least or smallest, then it will end up into narrower apex. So in such graphs, the base is broader and apex is narrower. That's why we call it upright shape ecological pyramid graphs. We will understand this upright shape ecological pyramid graph with the help of a food chain. In such graphs, apex is narrower and base is broader, and food chains in which population, biomass and energy decrease from producer to consumer level, because apex will become narrower only whenever the data will decrease from producer to consumer level. So in such food chains, the population, biomass and energy will decrease from producer to consumer level. All such food chains will show upright shaped ecological pyramid graphs. We'll see this through this food chain, which is started with green plants on which mouse are feeding, and snakes are feeding on mouse, and eagles are feeding on snakes. Let's take a hypothetical figure of the population at each trophic level. At trophic level 1, that is plants, the total population was 10,000, for example. At mouse it is 5,000. At snake level it is 2,500 population, and the total population of eagle was counted as 1,250. If you want to make an ecological pyramid graph for this data, and if we set the scale as 1 centimeter, line of the graph will represent 1000 numbers. The shape of the graph would be like this. For representing the population of plants, we'll have to draw a line of 10 centimeter, because 1 centimeter equals 1000 number. So 10 centimeter equals 10,000 number. So the total length of this bar line would be 10 centimeter. For representing the population of mouse, the bar line length should be 5 centimeter. For snakes, it is 2.5 centimeter, and for eagle, it is 1.25 centimeter. So we have seen that in this ecological pyramid graph, the base is broader and apex is narrower. The base is broader because the population of plants was maximum. The apex is narrower because the population of eagle was least. That's why we have narrower apex and broader base. So in such food chains where something is decreasing from producer to top consumer level, we'll have upright shape ecological pyramid graphs. The second type of ecological pyramid graphs are called inverted shape ecological pyramid graphs. In such food chains or in such graphs, the base is narrower and apex is broader. Base means producers, apex means top consumers. Narrow base means the data gathered or collected at the producer level is smallest in number. Broader apex means the data collected at top consumer level is largest or maximum in number. So whenever such graphs are made, the shape would be inverted shape ecological pyramid graphs. In such graphs, apex is always broader and base is narrower. The food chains in which population biomass increase from producer to consumer level, they will represent inverted shape graphs. It is easily seen through this figure that something is increasing from producer to consumer level. That's why the apex has become broader and base has become narrower. Let us understand it with the help of one more food chain. That is, we have trees in the forest on which birds are feeding, and lice are feeding on birds, and bacteria are feeding on lice. Say the hypothetical figure for the population at each trophic level is, we have 1000 number of trees. The population of birds will always be more than population of trees, and say we have 2000 number of birds. The population of lice will always be more than population of birds, because large number of lice can stay on a single bird. So let's say the population of lice was 10,000, and bacteria, because they are microscopic, then their number would be much higher than the population of lice, birds and trees. Say in this case the population of bacteria was 20,000. If we want to make a ecological pyramid graph for this data, we'll set a scale 1 centimeter is equal to 100 numbers. For representing the population of trees, we'll have to draw a bar line of 10 centimeter, because 1 centimeter equals 100 numbers. So for representing 1000 population, it should be 10 centimeter. For birds, it should be 20 centimeter length. For population of lice, we'll have to draw a line of 100 centimeter, and for showing the population of bacteria, a bar line length should be 200 centimeters. If you join the apex edges of all the boxes, then you will see the shape will come out as inverted shape ecological pyramid graph. So anything, if it increases from producer to consumer level, will show inverted shape ecological pyramid graphs. So these are two different shapes of ecological pyramid graphs which can be seen in different food chains. Some food chains may show up upright shape ecological pyramid graphs. On the other hand, some of the food chains may represent inverted shape ecological pyramid graphs. Now we'll talk about the types of ecological pyramid graphs. There are three types of ecological pyramid graphs. First is pyramid of numbers. Whenever we want to represent the data that is related to the total population at each trophic level in the food chains, Such ecological pyramid graphs will be called as ecological pyramid of numbers, because we are talking about the number or population. The ecological pyramid of numbers are the graphs for showing population of living organism at each trophic level. The pyramid of number graphs could be upright as well as inverted shaped. In some food chains, we may have upright shape of ecological pyramid of numbers, while in other food chains it could be inverted shape. Now, what does upright shape ecological pyramid of number means? The population is decreasing from producer to consumer level. That's why it is upright. Apex is narrower and base is broader. Inverted shape ecological pyramid of number means the population is increasing from producer to top consumer level. That's why the apex has become broader because of highest population, and base that will represent the population of producers will have narrower shape. So from food chain to food chain it will vary as upright or inverted shape. We'll take one example of each: upright shape ecological pyramid of numbers and inverted shape ecological pyramid of numbers. First of all, we'll see that how upright shape ecological pyramid of numbers can be seen. In this food chain, plants are eaten by grasshoppers, who are eaten by frogs, and frogs are eaten by snakes. Snakes are eaten by hawks. Say the population that was counted is as follows: the plants are 2000 in number, grasshoppers are 1000, frogs are 500 in number, snakes are 250 in number, and hawks are 125 in number. Means population is decreasing from producer, means plant level, to the top consumer, means hawk level, or trophic number 1 to trophic number 5. If we draw the ecological pyramid of number for this data, first of all we'll set the scale. Let's say 1 centimeter will represent 100 numbers. So for representing the population of plants, we'll have to draw a line of 20 centimeter. For grasshoppers, 10 centimeter bar line. For frogs, it should be 5 centimeter. For snakes, 2.5 centimeter. And for showing the population of hawks, it should be 1.25 centimeter. So if you look at the shape of this ecological pyramid of number, it is upright in shape, means the population is decreasing. That's why we have narrower apex and broader base. So this is an example of upright shape ecological pyramid of numbers. We are representing the population at each trophic level. That's why we have said it ecological pyramid of numbers. Now we'll see the inverted shape ecological pyramid of numbers. Any food chain in which population increases from producer to top consumer level. I have taken this food chain from a terrestrial ecosystem in which we have trees as producers on which birds are feeding, and lice is feeding on birds and bacteria are feeding on lice. If we make ecological pyramid of number graph for this, we know that the population of birds will be more than population of trees, and population of lice will be more than population of birds, and population of bacteria will be much higher than population of lice. Means the population in this food chain is increasing from trees to bacteria, or from trophic level 1 to trophic level 4, or say from producer to top consumer level. So the bar line will be smallest for showing the population of trees. For birds it will be larger than trees. For lice it will be even larger than birds, and for bacteria it will be the largest one. So the shape of this ecological pyramid of number is inverted. Apex is narrower and base is broader. So this is an example of inverted shaped ecological pyramid of numbers. So ecological pyramid of numbers can be either upright as well as inverted in shape, depending on different food chains. The second type of ecological pyramid graphs are called ecological pyramid of biomass. Whenever the total biomass or dried biomass is represented with the help of ecological pyramid graphs for any specific food chain, such graphs are called pyramid of biomass. These are the graphs for showing dry biomass of living organism at each trophic level. The pyramid of biomass graphs can also be either upright as well as inverted shaped in different food chains. Means in some food chains, the total dry biomass will decrease from producer to top consumer level, while in other food chains, it may also increase from producer to top consumer level. First of all, we'll see an example of upright shaped ecological pyramid of biomass with this food chain. In this food chain, plants are eaten by goats, who are eaten by jackals, and jackals are eaten by lions. We have four trophic levels: plants, goats, jackals, and lions. Plants are producers, goats are at herbivore level, and jackals and lions are at carnivore uh, level. So, if we want to make a ecological pyramid of biomass for this population, for this food chain, the population of plants will be maximum in this case. So we'll have the largest bar line for showing the uh, biomass of at plant level. The biomass at goat level will be less than the biomass of plants. Biomass of jackals will be less than the biomass of goats, and biomass of lion will be less than the biomass of jackals. Means highest biomass will be available at producer level, plant level, and least biomass will be seen at top consumer level or at lion level. Now, you may have a doubt that the weight of an individual lion is much higher compared to the weight of a goat or say jackal. Then how come we have shown here that biomass at the lion level is least? Biomass means the dried weight of any organism. Here we are not talking about the dry biomass of an individual organism. For say we are not talking about the dry biomass of one single lion. Rather we are calculating the cumulative biomass of all the lions at this particular trophic level. Although the individual lion biomass could be much high, but because the population of lion is less, very less compared to the population of jackals, goats and plants. So when you multiply the individual biomass of the lion with the total number of lions in that forest, the cumulative or the total biomass will come small, less than what we can observe at jackal level or goat level. At jackal and goat level, the individual biomass is less, but because their population is much higher, if you multiply it with the total number of population, then it will exceed the biomass at lion level. So in this case, if we draw the ecological pyramid of biomass, it will be upright in shape, means the least biomass will be available at highest trophic level, and maximum biomass can be seen at lowest trophic level, that is producer level. This is a perfect example of upright shaped ecological pyramid of biomass. Now we'll see another food chain in which biomass will increase from producer to top consumer level. This is a food chain which operates in marine ecosystem and which starts with phytoplanktons. These are microscopic organisms, autotrophs or producers on which zooplanktons will feed. Zooplanktons are jellyfishes or small insects. Then small fishes will feed on zooplanktons and large fishes will feed on small fishes. If you try to make a ecological pyramid biomass for this, the weight of individual phytoplankton is almost negligible, although their population is much higher, but individual weight is almost zero. So in this particular food chain, the total dried biomass at phytoplankton will be least one. So we'll have the smallest bar line for at phytoplankton level. The zooplanktons are good in population, as well as they have individual weight which is higher than individual weight of a phytoplankton. So the dried biomass at zooplankton level will be more than what it was at phytoplankton level. Small fishes, the number is also pretty good and their individual weight is much higher compared to the individual weight of zooplanktons and phytoplanktons. So cumulative biomass at small fish level will be more than what it was in zooplankton and phytoplanktons level. The large fishes, because individual weight is very high, the dried biomass will be maximum for large fishes in this food chain. So if you look at the shape of this ecological pyramid graph, it will be inverted shape ecological pyramid graph because it is representing the biomass information related to the biomass at each trophic level. So we'll call it inverted shaped ecological pyramid of biomass. So these were the two examples of ecological pyramid of biomass, upright as well as inverted shaped. The third type of ecological pyramid graphs are called pyramid of energy. Whenever we want to represent the total amount of available energy at each trophic level in any food chain, the graphs formed in such cases will be termed as ecological pyramid of energy graphs. These are graphs for showing the available energy of living organisms at each trophic level. The pyramid of energy graphs will always be upright in shape. We have seen that ecological pyramid of population and biomass could be either upright or inverted shape. Means biomass and population can increase as the trophic level increases as well as decrease as the trophic level increases. But in case of ecological pyramid of energy, the energy will always decrease from producer to top consumer level. That's why we have ecological pyramid of energy graphs always as upright shape ecological pyramid energy. So we'll see why this happens, why we do not have inverted shape ecological pyramid of energy. We'll see this through this example. We have a food chain in which plants are eaten up by grasshoppers and grasshoppers are eaten by frogs. Frogs are eaten by snakes and snakes are finally eaten by eagles. Plants are producers in this food chain, means with the help of sunlight, food, chlorophyll, carbon dioxide and water, they will synthesize organic matter in their body with the help of photosynthesis reaction. And as a result of it, organic matter or say glucose will be synthesized and stored in the plant's body. Now plant will utilize part of this energy for carrying out its metabolic activities such as growth, uh, respiration, uh, photosynthesis, etc. Now, part of this available energy will be taken by grasshoppers in the form of food. Grasshoppers will consume plants as a food source, digest that food, and convert it into energy. First thing is that whatever food will be consumed by the grasshoppers, grasshopper cannot convert it into 100% energy because some of it will come out in the form of excreta. So the energy that is synthesized by grasshoppers, it will be used by these grasshoppers for carrying out various metabolic activities such as respiration, movement, or even for generating heat in their body. So most of the energy will be utilized or exhausted in carrying out these day-to-day metabolic activities at grasshopper level. So whatever excess energy will be there, the leftover energy will be stored in the bodies of grasshoppers. Now this energy is available as a food source for the frogs. Now frogs will consume this energy from the grasshopper level and frogs will also utilize it, most part of it, in the form of various metabolic activities such as respiration, heat, jumping, etc. Same thing will be done at snake level and even eagles will do the same. So we have seen in this food chain that whatever amount of energy is taken from the previous trophic level, most of it is utilized by the individual organism. Only small fraction of it is stored and is available to the animals who are situated at next trophic level. This means approximately 90% of taken energy will be utilized for carrying out metabolic activities, and only 10% of it will be transferred to the next trophic level. So energy is decreasing in this case. We have seen that energy started as 100% from producer level, and it kept on decreasing from producer level to herbivore level, and from herbivore level to primary, secondary and tertiary carnivore level. This means energy is decreasing from trophic level 1 to the trophic level 5 in this case. So because energy is decreasing, so whatever data we get out of it, if we make ecological pyramid of energy graph, it will always be upright in shape, because apex will be narrower because of least amount of available energy at top trophic level. Let us take an example. Suppose the total available energy at plant level was 10,000 kilocalorie, and at grasshopper level it would be 10% because of use of 90% of energy, and the available energy at this level would be around 1000 kilocalorie. At frog level it will be 100 kilocalorie. At snake level it will be 10 kilocalorie, and at eagle level it will be 1 kilocalorie. So 10% of energy is moving from one trophic level to the next trophic level. So that's why it is also called 10% law of energy. Means only 10% of energy can maximum be transferred from lower to higher trophic level. So energy is decreasing from lowest trophic level to the highest trophic level. That's why we have ecological pyramid of energy graphs as upright shape ecological pyramid of energy. We'll see through this graph, which we'll make by using the data we discussed in the previous food chain. Because energy available at green plant was 10,000 kilocalorie and was maximum among all the living organisms. So we'll have longest bar line for green plants, which will represent the amount of available energy. For grasshoppers it will be smaller than green plants. For frogs it will be smaller than grasshoppers. For snakes it will be even smaller than frogs, and at eagle level it will be the smallest one. Means energy is decreasing from green plants to eagle. If you join the edges of all the boxes, you will see that shape of this ecological pyramid of energy will come out as upright shape ecological pyramid of energy, because energy cannot increase from trophic level 1 to the maximum trophic level. That's why we will never find inverted shape ecological pyramid of energy in any food chain. Energy will always decrease from trophic level 1 to trophic level 2, or say from lowest trophic level to the highest trophic levels. So in nutshell, what we saw, that there are three different types of ecological pyramids. First is ecological pyramid of numbers, which will represent the total population at each trophic level of living organisms. We can have either upright or inverted shape ecological pyramid of numbers. Second is ecological pyramid of biomass, which will represent the available dry biomass at each trophic level. And ecological pyramid of biomass can also be either upright or inverted shape in different food chains. The third type of ecological pyramid graphs is pyramid of numbers, pyramid of energy, and this pyramid of energy will always be upright in shape. Okay, so we saw in today's lecture about concept of ecological pyramid graphs and various types of ecological pyramid graphs. I also tried to explain how the data collected during structural and functional study of an ecosystem is used in making the ecological pyramid graphs. I hope I was able to explain the topics in a simpler way. So that was all about today's lecture. Thank you.